Prem Swalavindra Vandiyadilala Ki Jai. Sitaram, and welcome to our third session, our final session this evening of Vishnu Gyan Yagna, coming to you from the Sri Krsna Seva Ashram here in Princestown, Trinidad. During this time of Pitra Paksh, this type of reading is being done to educate the Sanatanis, the Hindu, about our Dharma, to read something that uplifts the individual by simply listening, and you will hear about that as we come to the end of the Gaya Mahatyam. At the very beginning of our Yagya, I had mentioned that when Pandits are doing Puja, if you pay attention, you will hear in mantras where they are invoking different tirat and holy places the name Gaya. Gaya is a place in India, close to Kashi, where people journey till today, as they've done for many years, to do shrad, to do tarpan, tilanjali offerings, etc. In this way, our 3 nights focused on the Mahatyam of Gaya coming from Vayu Puran, but supported from other texts as well. And it shows to the Hindu, for those people that may be considering to go on Tirat, to go pilgrimage, the value of such a place, physically. Is this place still existing? Yes, it is. But the question came, why? And we heard of, in the first night, Gaya Sur, the demon, whose body is buried in the land of Gaya. And when people are doing different types of shrad on that land, on the earth, on the dirt, the valuable type of blessings, so potent is that type of prayer in such a place, that regardless the sin, a person can be saved or uplifted, liberated. In the second night, last night, we went into, there is a part of the discourse that yes, they put Gaya Sur underneath the land, but then he started to move, so they put a sill or a stone, slab of stone on top of him. And to add to it, we hear that Gadadhara, the form of Lord Vishnu, where he has the mace, he's standing there pressing the sill down, all the devatas came. And the story of Dharamvrat, this wife that was married to Marich, the son of Brahma, who incurs a sin in doing her duty. She did nothing wrong. She received her father-in-law, Brahma, and Marich felt as if she had abandoned her post as it were. So he tells her, you will become a great stone, a sill. And in doing so, she tells him, you will get a shrad from Lord Seva because of your temper and your ignorance and your behavior. She now goes to pray, and she says, if I have to become this stone, I want all the devatas to sit on the stone. And in last night's discourse, we heard that how, when she prayed Lord Vishnu himself with the mace, he says, my dear, whatever you wish, ask for it, and I will bless it. You have been wrong. She says, I want all the devatas to come and sit on that stone. And when somebody comes and they do Gyan, they stand on that stone. Stand on that stone. Let them become purified. Allow them to be as if they are free now, rid of all sins. Allow them now to prepare to do Havan, Tarpan, Tilanjali, Puja, Pindadan, Sapindadan. So people would journey to that spot, knowing that the stone is there in the mountainous region and all these other things, and they would use the stone in the prayer. How? Have you ever gone to a wedding and have you ever seen the Silha Rohan part where the girl puts her foot on the sill or the stone? This is starting here, where the stone was created, as it were. Then when you're doing Kumbh Viva Puja, when people have Mangal Dosh, etc., different prayers, we said last night that this is where the validation of that stone usage comes from. In addition to this, last night we went into the Varaha Puran, where we heard of a character by the name of Nimi. With all the talk about shrad, we define shrad from Shraddha and the importance of these activities. The different types of shrad and the different types of offerings that are done. Different types of offerings that are done. Because There is Pindadan, there is Sapindadan. There is Pindadan in different types, different ways. So the Nemi Shrad or the Nimi Shrad. Then you have the Vridhi Shrad, the Masik Shrad, etc. The list goes on. There are many types. Narayan Bali Shrad, when there is no physical body, maybe the person died at sea, or we cannot find the body to do cremation, and we want to help the soul. Narayan Bali Shrad is done. Another day, I will go through the different types of Shrad, but where did Shrad come from? A father had lost a son, just to recap. And he takes out, he feeds the pundits, 7 Brahmin. He feels as if he wants to do more, so he makes a pinda out of rice. And he uses, what does the word pinda mean? Pind means desh, a place. Calcutta is a pind, it is a location. So pinda is a place to house the energy that you are inviting. In some instances, we invite previous ancestors, past souls, past persons, their memories to sit here. In some instances, we invite the devatas, we invite rishis, munis, boot, lost souls, like in the Narayan Bali Shrad, where we invite lost ones, people that have been roaming, prit, boot, pisach, to sit here. So worship can be done. So that transformation from the lost soul to the rested soul, pray. Where do you see this? If you go in Garud Puran and you listen to the discourse of Raja Brahman, he interacts with a prit. He says, I have done good. This is the entity speaking. I have done good in my life when life was there, but there was no final rites. I died by myself. I didn't have no family members. So nobody did the 10-day rite, making the astral body. For this reason, it is as if I am a park up, to use local word. I've parked up, I've been living here, roaming here, waiting to find salvation. So the king sits down and he does Narayan Bali Shrad. And after the pindas are offered, the soul that was allowed to sit there to benefit from the purification mantras, the havan, and all these things, to witness it, he is transformed into the body similar to a devata and allowed to ascend to the heavenly region. The father does the same thing for the son, and he feels at that time, because this, what he's saying in the text is that nobody has done this before. A son is supposed to pray for a father, but a father doesn't pray for a son. What is this offering for the dead? They have nothing like that. And remember the first night I said, Pitra Paksh did not always exist. We did the history of it. Prior to that, there was none of that. This is an example. There was a point, there was no final rites. There was no need. People prayed differently. And I want to emphasize that. When you listen to different Puranas, one obviously came before the other. They didn't all come at the same time. So there's a timeline. For example, before Sri Ram avatar, there was no Ramayana. I think we can understand that. When Sri Ram walked the earth, there was no Bhagavad Gita. That did not exist. No Mahabharata. Likewise, prior to Sri Ram, like for example, in the Varaha Purana, that is long before Sri Ram walked the earth. That is long, long, long before. That is in the time where Varaha, or the one with the boar head, his consort is the earth, Prithvi Mata. From she, he gets 3 sons. Those 3 sons reincarnate by blessings of Lord Shiva to become the different Agni, the fire that we cook in the kitchen with, the fire we just do the puja where we don't even want to offer jutta or salt, or we don't want to put, like to say somebody sweat fall in the parasad pot or something like that, nothing unclean. And then we have the opposite, the fire that works for the unclean. This you see it very common in the cremation, in the Adeshti Sanskar, where you're saying, please accept now the hair, the nail, the nose, the skin, the blood, the flesh, etc. Whatever is in the body, please accept it. So those 3 characters came from that discourse. But in listening to the different time, the different avatar, Mahavishnu and before, the way people would pray did change over time. Simple example. In the earlies, in our text, you would hear the Muni, for example, where we listen to in Shibran, the coming of the the Ganga. Bhagirath is the one credited for doing tapasya for thousands of years. Friends, first night we spoke about the value of Satyanarayan Katha, Puja and Katha. That is for a very short time, short puja, you gain great amount of merit. How many people go to the forest, standing on one foot, hands propped in the air for thousands of years? It seems crazy to even consider. But in those times, man's lifespan was different. Less distraction. Maybe not so much microwaves, not so much different magnetic influence with the phone and the cell phone and all the different things that distract us in today's world. People could concentrate long story short for a longer period of time. The attention span, for example, was massively different. The ability to do Surya Namaskar for general people to practice yoga in different ways. Prayer was done differently. And there are many examples of that, and we're going to talk about that coming to the end of our discourse tonight. Tonight we do our third discourse, our final discourse for this yagna, and in the next chapter where we left off last night, we enter into Vayu Purana 109, and here Narad Muni is asking Sanat Kumar some very important questions. We'll hear a little bit about the type, how to pray when you're making the offerings, how people say this prayer. And you'll realize that there's more to these type of prayer than we think, than we know. And we'll have to clear up some points. We have to clear up some points. And I have to answer one question, a very tricky question that a young pundit asked me, and I want to deal with it in the young. Let's do simple opening mantras before we continue, as time is slipping away already. Everybody please join your hands. Trust me, by listening to tonight's discourse, again you're going to learn fabulous, important, pertinent knowledge about your dharma and who's going to benefit. Let it be, dear God, that all our ancestors, those people, what's the big fuss of worshipping you, Mahavishnu, for the benefit of our ancestors? Dear Lord, we owe these people because of their genetics, because of their sacrifice, because of their milk. I am here. I have whatever I have in terms of my abilities, strengths, weaknesses. It is all due to their work, their merit. Tonight, by listening to this discourse, please allow the blessings not to come to me, but allow it to go to helping my kull, my dynasty, my ancestors. Om Gajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kapeta Jambu Parachara Bhashritam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam Sarvamangalmangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostude. Om Vasudevam Sudam Devam Kansachanunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prem Swamindrava Vande Harilada Ki Jai. As we enter into this section, Narad Muni says, Prabhu, Guruji, may you please tell me, how is it that you are saying Gadadhara came into being and manifested to stand upon that sill, that stone, in that place called Gaya? Is it that when we invoke that sill, we invoke that Gaya, that he is there? Please tell me. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya
Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Gado Nam Suro Hiyasi Dwaja Hrida Dwaja Taro Driha Partito Brahmane Pradha Swari Sharati Drishyate. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Sarakumara replies, O son, Lord Vishnu holding that mace in his hand, please remember this, because every time you look at his murti, you see his pitya, please remember this. So you know from tonight you must understand your form, your God. Why is he holding this mace in his hand? That is what Narad wants to know. There was a demon by the name of Gada. His body, after doing great amount of Gyan and Tapasya, because unrighteous people pray too. Narad, don't think they don't know how to pray. Please be forewarned that sometimes people get corrupted when they get the blessings of God. It is not that they don't know how to pray. Think Ravan, Kanswad, Yagna. Think of this fella, Gada. What do they do? Gaya Sur, what do? They use prayers, they use mantra, they use puja, and they do all that they have to do. Fast, offer, give tira, do what they have to do. But when they get the Vardhan, when they get the Ashram, then they start to morph, then they start to change now into somebody that is full of Abhiman. Somebody that thinks, well, I am more powerful than you. He says this fellow was a guy like that. He was able to pray so that his body, his skeletal system would be as strong as adamantium, a metal that is very difficult to break. It is so robust that even the lightning bolt from Indra's hand, the Vraj, was no test for his body. And when they could not beat him, Brahma, upon the ushering of Lord Shiva, goes and says, son, you have conquered all. You have conquered all. I have a request now. Will you grant me this request? And Gada, listening to Lord Brahma, let's hear what happens. Brahma no rikta Vishwa karma api gadam chakro bhutam tada tadasti brajanishya kundheha swarga hridayeham ata kalani mahayate Manoswarupatam. Brahma urging in this way. Gada decides to give up the body at the blessings of Brahma. He ascends to Brahmlok, the jeev of this body, but the body remaining there, and soon the skeleton was visible. Brahma instructs Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the one who makes the Sudarshan Chakra. He makes all the Pushpak for Ravan. He makes all these great type of mechanical inventions, the different acts for Ashram, all these things, he made them. When people are blessing till today, when people are blessing factories, when people are blessing equipment, they invite his energy. Let's call him the divine engineer, the divine designer, however you want to look at it. With his grace, these things are made from one raw material into something else. He takes the bones, and if it was like a lathe that's spinning, he makes it into this circular orb with a long staff clad in gold. And for a very long period of time, this adamantium weapon, the gada, named after the bone it came from, is kept in the region of Indralook under the protection of the king of the Devatas. And then, after a long time, after one manvantar had passed, an entire age had passed, let's say what happens. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Atake Namahata Mano Swadyam Bhutakavachitam Heti Heti Lakshwa Brahman Putrusnapi Sararudhan. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. There was a time when Brahma was creating the demons and the daityas. From Tamasic thoughts, these creations came forth. When people hear about Pisach, when people hear about the workers of Chitra and Gupta that work in the shadows, in the twilight, in the secret places, did these things come from Brahma? Yes, it did. He says there are three modes: Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. We heard of it the first time. We always hear about it in Gita. And depending on their mode, they act in this way. Depending on their mode, they eat, they are attracted, they live a particular way. So here now he is creating the Danav and all the different demonic forms. Because unlike other religions, Hinduism shows where good and not good all come from God. God is the source. When we say creator, he's the source of everything. So this was the season for them to be created. And here in this Manvantar, a demon by the name of Heti is created. And this son of Brahma performs again great tapasya. For a very, listen to the words, for 100,000 divine years, Brahma years, he is praying, and he is only living on the energy of the air going into his body, and the atoms separating to feed him with energy. No food. His arms are raised aloft, and he's on one toe standing. And he stood like this, unperturbed, living off the wind. Brahma and others were impressed by the quality of his prayer. And after a very long time, they appear in front of him, all the devatas, Brahma included. And he says, "Oh son, why did you do this rigorous breath? Why did you do this hard breath?" And he says, "I wish to have a boon." Brahma says, "Oh, me, Shiva, we are all pleased with you. Please ask for what you want. I should never be weak. I want to be very mighty. I cannot be destroyed by the devatas, by the danavas, by the manusha, the human beings, with any kind of weapon that is in existence today. not the Trishul, not the Sudarshan Chakra, not by hand, none of these weapons. May I become impervious, may I become resistant to all of them. Brahma, may it be so. Tathastu. And they disappear. And in that moment, this fella becomes corrupted with power. He becomes, because of this new gift, because of this Ashram, he begins to interfere with righteous people. So much so that he becomes a pestilence in this world. That's like what we're seeing now. Today I was heading up the highway and the rain looked so different. And my mind wondered, when is dry season coming in Trinidad? When will we have Pitikarim? It was as if there was a storm today. In other parts of the world, look at what's going on in Pakistan. Look at what is happening in Australia. COVID, monkeypox. There are so many different diseases that is plaguing the earth. When we hear about the pestilence that is described sometime in our text, you have to wonder, is this author in this text describing an attack upon mankind in different ways? You know, in the movies we see them blow and a great hurricane hits the opposing side. Maybe they shoot an arrow and a flame comes and burns the land, like what we've seen in some parts of America. Maybe we are in a war, maybe we're in a fight, I don't know. Tonight as you're listening, please send me a message. What do you think? Do you think the climate, do you think the ocean, do you think the beaches that we used to bathe on that is now totally covered in seaweed and sharks are coming 2 feet from the shore? Is it that Mother Earth is in some type of trouble? Does it seem so to you? What do you think? Please send me a message. If you're watching on YouTube tonight, please leave me a comment. Where are you viewing from? Please send me a message. They all the devatas listening to the outcry upon the earth, dear God, please help me, dear God, please help me, dear God, please help me. Everybody's calling for help. The elements, the tattva, the devatas, the dusty ball, everybody, the devata from the east, the west, the north, the south, etc. They go together and they pray to Brahma, to Shiva, please help us, destroy Haiti, destroy this person that is causing this pain upon you. They all go to Vishnu and he smiles and he says, this was bound to happen, this is part of the Leela. Do not become so perturbed. This had to happen. Let's hear what he says to them, where he's getting ready to help them. Listen to his words. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole
Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam.
Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Dharatam Ghar Madhav Deva Rukto Ghadadara Gadaye Heti Mahatya Devo Satre Deva Yuya Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam.
Jaya Bole
Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. He says, I will definitely grant your desires of devatas. Give me a weapon. Please give me something that will be useful in this fight. Because of his prayer, all my existing weapons, all my current weapons are useless. Indra brings to him the Gada or the Mace and he bows to him and says, "Oh Prabhu, today you are Gada Dara. You are the holder, the wielder of the magical mace, this powerful weapon that only you could lift. Oh Prabhu, go and and destroy the unrighteous. And he did just that. He took the mace and he went and he fought. And it is that same form that we have in this picture right here. I'm sure you have one at home. Mahavishnu is resting the Gada on a mountain by his feet here in this picture. He says, this is the same Adi Gada Dara that manifested on that sill, that rocky slab, that mountainous place in Gaya. And he rests the Gada or the mace, the Mukdar, upon the stone to reinforce the weight pressing upon Gaya Sur. For this reason, Mahavishnu is regarded, as we heard before, as living there, remaining there. And he is the one that renders the demons senseless. That uplifter and sustainer of the Ved, bringer of joy, is called Gadadhara. Lord Brahma has seen him press that mukta into the ground like how he's having it here. Gadaram vyapakale kalasham gaya ghata vidhi gunam gunapitatam gugatam girivarate gun archita vardam namami Gadadhara namostute. I bow to Gadadhara, that one who is stationed in Gaya, who grants the merit to all devotees, who is the one beyond the understanding of the typical person, that person who lives in the mountainous regions for the blessings of each and everyone. I bow to him day after day in this age, as it goes on, in this age of Kali Yuga, when impurity, when unrighteousness will confuse the people. I bow to him who is stronger than the strongest, that one who can control the mind, that one who can bless the individual to overcome difficulty. I bow to that Gadadhara. I pay homage to him. And in this way, Sarakumar says to Narjan, when all was done, when Brahma had finished saying his prayers, Lord Vishnu holding the mukta in his hand, he says, "Oh Brahma, today I am pleased with your prayer. Ask me for your blessing." He says, "Prabhu, I pray that may you stay upon the earth in this place called Gaya. That whenever the place of Gaya, the discourse of Gaya is heard, may you go into the person who is listening, the person who is doing the offering, and may you lift them up. When a person listens to this discourse, when a person with devotion worships, what is the blessing? Verse 37 of this chapter 109. Those who worship Gadadhara with that form of the mace, those people who envisage him and they say Krishna, even when they're taking out their food or their water, they're offering of prasadam. With devotion, they worship you, they become immune from all diseases, skin, scalp, all forms of genetic disorder. Dear God, it may not disappear, but it might come under control. It may not be healed, but the efficacy of the medicine starts to be a little more effective. Those people who visit you in that place called Gaya, those people who remember this, those people who touch the earth thinking about your form, Prabhu, may you lift your hand and bless them with faith, devotion. Whosoever offers unto you, O Gadadhara, let it be that if his spouse has, her spouse has passed away, son, daughter, grandson, all of them, let their souls yield merit, fame, comfort, wherever they are. By the offering of perfume to you, listen everybody, why there is, I sent out in the group this morning, Pandit Vijay Kunjbihari did a wonderful write-up, and I forwarded in the group, and you would have seen where people plant their pushkas, put chandan, put perfume, put the flowers, do the, why do we do these things? It represents Lord Vishnu, yes, but why? By offering perfume to you, Lord Vishnu, a person will be rich, gain riches. By offering flowers, one attains happiness in marriage, children. The person who offers sweet incense, they gain the ability to have a home, to have, to acquire the type of home they're praying for. The person who brings light through the lamps, the person who offers a flag, he becomes freed of past sins. The people who walk, maybe you're walking around the Kushras, around your Murti, around your temple, going to Gaya, when people go to Tirat and Mathura, Vrindavan, these people gain entrance into Brahmlok by making that circumambulation. He who performs shrad, that type of offerer who gives the water, the offering of tarpan, calling the name of Mahavishnu, that person not only uplifts the Jeev or the family, the lineage, but also that person is uplifting themselves with devotion. He, or when I say he, I mean he or she, who offers homage to you, O Gada Gada, with the following stotra, that person chanting the words of Ishwar, Lord Shiva, gains the blessings and the entry into vehicles never to return to the sansar or the birth and death cycle. Now we're going to chant just a couple of verses of this stotra that is given here. Pandits, my dear Pandits, go to chapter 109, or for the person who wants to know it himself. Chapter 109, Vayu Puran, verse 43 onwards. Lord Shiva praises the words of Lord Vishnu, of Lord Brahma as they are talking. Put your hands together, and this is what we're going to do now. Put your hands together. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Avyakta Rupa Yadevo Janardana Swayarupattaha Munda Prishta Swayam Jato Namamyadi Gadadaram Namamyaham Shilam Deva Rupindam Stitam Brahma Viha Swarupiham Pujitam Satyakritam Devastam Namami Jadagadaram Yancha Drishtva Tatha Prishtva Puji Yatva Pranamam Cha Shraddhau Brahmaloka Patinamamyam Gadadaram Namamyam. And in this way the verses continue. Om Shri Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. And Lord Shiva chants these prayers. If you are interested in having this, send me a message and I will send it to you. Most of the time I send these type of prayers on WhatsApp. I bow to that form of Gadadara, who is the cause of all the Bhua, the different loks, the different realms. You are the sustainer of life here and everywhere. You are the one who removes the unrighteousness and perpetuates righteousness. Dear God, we bow to you. We offer our prayer to you. The one who is eager for spiritual gain, for spirituality, spiritual growth. The one who is eager for material gain. The one who is lost and is looking for light. The one who is looking to overcome lust. The person who is cherishing the idea of liberation or mukti. Let that person chant your prayer. O Lord Vishnu, with that muktar, let that person bow to you. O Gadadhara, you who are standing on that sill, may you stand in my heart and may you remove this sin. Prem se bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. In this way, he tells to Narayan Baba, this is where Mahavishnu gains that form. And now he goes into Narad, asks him, it is said that you said that when a person is offering the shrad, that they are able to get great amount of blessing. Now in this, we must understand how sometimes we are confused about what we have to do. Just to touch on 1 or 2 points. I heard someone say that when you have, and this is where the problem comes, I have my mother passed away, I have my father passed away. So I'm going to take a kush grass for daddy, and I'll plant that kush grass, and I'll offer everything there for daddy, and then on a separate kush grass, I will have one for mommy. I am sure you've heard this. It is a question that plagues many people. If I have 5 sisters, and my 5 sisters, God forbid, pass away, Baba, does that mean I have to get one for daddy, one for mommy, and 5 for different 5 sisters? If we were to do that, devotees, how many ancestors did it take for you and I to be here? How many generations of people coming from India, coming from different regions, it took for us to stand here today? For this reason, this is one point that I spoke about for the first time, the history of the kush grass. Why do we have the kush grass? The kush grass, again, comes from when Lord Vishnu was walking in that form with the Varaha. It is a representative of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. And the tips, which is what we really focus on, is a representative of Mahavishnu. If it is that Mahavishnu, then there is no need to have 10 different kush grass. It is the one Murti. It is the one God that we are offering on behalf of all Pitras. He says here in verse 25 that when the person is offering shrad, there comes a point where we do the shrad for all the different devatas. This happens only 13 days. Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Somrat, etc. Going on. When that is finished, you will see them offer something called sapinda. Sapinda deals with your father, your grand, depending if it's male or female. Your father is on the boy's side, man's side. If a man has passed away, father, his father. If it's a lady, her mother and so on. Her mother, no, sorry, if she's married. It gets intricate. But what's the purpose of the sapinda? The sapinda is when you're done to worship them or for them to just say a little sweet rice for food, a little drop of water, etc. When you finish all that, we cut the sapinda that represents the person who has now passed away. And we merge that pinda with the father, with the grandfather, with the great-grandfather. And in doing so, allows the soul to go from unrested prate to pitri. So when you are doing shrad, when you are doing tarpan, tilanjali, food dan, etc., you're praying to God, first of all. You are praying to Lord Vishnu. Dear God, may you please accept, if it is an apple, if it's sweet rice, whatsoever, on behalf of all my pitri, all the people together, all my ancestors. In this way, it clarifies that we do not need the kush grass for different departed ones, because there is where we hear, well, it's time for the dead, and we are offering to feed the dead, etc. This is not about that. This is worshipping God, so that the ones that have died and passed on, they can have the blessing. The blessing, the karma, the good karma. It is called, this type of action is called praschit karma. Praschit karma is when you do something for the forgiveness of past deeds. This is why, for example, people pray during the Navratri and they offer in different prasad and different gifts, perfume, clothing, food is shared. Dear God, please accept this and bless me to be freed from my past activity, my past sin, etc. Now, please listen to some of the mantras that are chanted when Pinda Asan, Pinda Dan, the different offerings are going to be made. Here I'm going to read it in English. what the prayer is being offered. How does it do? First one. In my whole lineage, I made this offering for those who have died, and of which those that no longer exist, I pray for their redemption. For this I invoke on this kushgrass plate, on this kushgrass platform, I offer sesame seed water on behalf of them. I offer it, dear God, on their behalf, let them get the blessing. In the family of my maternal grandfather, whose movement is no longer possible, maybe they're reborn somewhere, I offer on behalf of those individuals the water with the sesame seed. I offer on behalf of my family, Bandhu Varga, the pumpkin vine family, distant people, people who I do not know. Maybe they no longer exist. I offer this on behalf of them. In this, I offer now the next offering on behalf of those people that have gone to pilgrimage and died. May they be able to benefit from this type of offering. Again, offering the water. In our family, those who have died, but they did not or were not able to get the liberation, mukti. May you please, dear God, accept this on their behalf. In the family of my mother's grandfather, where redemption is not possible, may you please accept this down and bless them. I offer this on behalf of those souls that have lost, that have gone on from my family, both mother and father side, those who were tortured within the womb. Everybody big to understand that. Those who were born, so that is who could not come in the earth from the belly, miscarriage. Now, those who were born but died before teeth could develop in their mouth, young. For them I pray for salvation. There's a family that recently lost a sister. Sometimes we lose loved ones in heinous ways. And when the tarpan is being offered, when the shrad is being done, sometimes just like what we saw in COVID, sometimes like in this memory I'm having right now, where somebody was burned alive and the body was destroyed. Proper funeral rites could not be done. Closed casket ceremony. I offer this on behalf of those that were burnt alive, burnt and cause of death is being burnt alive, struck by lightning due to teeth, meaning premature death, and the soul does not want to go along its travel because it still thinks it has time, it has things to do. I offer this offering. May you please allow these type of souls to benefit from my offering. Those people that were lost in the forest, those people that were destroyed by predators such as lions and tigers, those people that were bitten by horny animals with venom, those people that were pierced by animals that had horn, may you allow their soul, now that they have given up the body, to benefit from this offering, and it is given there. Those people who have died by ingesting of poison, those people who have mutilated their body with some weapon, those people who have committed suicide, I pray that by this offering may their soul get liberation and help in all religion. Suicide, unfortunately, is something that is condemned. God gave you how many years? And you made a conscious decision to end it. In Christianity, in Hinduism, in Islam, they talk about the soul undergoes a certain amount of purgatory. That soul cannot get rest. But in the Hindu faith, this is the value of Pitrapaks, where you can pray for all. When you hear people talk about pray and boot, that could be a relative that is in a state where they cannot access salvation. How do they get it? During the Pitrapaks, when Shrad is happening. This is an example of the prayers that is chanted when Nandi Mukh Shrad is going on, and you see people going to have Yagna, they're going to have Kaliyatra, they're going to have some big chanting, some big moment is coming. Dear God, if in the vicinity, if in the area there's any unrested soul, today I'm doing prayer via mantras like this. If they did slit their wrists, if they drank poison, if in a moment of temper they did something like this, and their soul is in need, don't let them come to interfere, to upset. Because in other texts it says that when boot is present, and I need you to be aware of these things. When people have pujas, look at what they're sitting on, push grass, to sanctify the spot. We talked about lipe in the spot last night. If there is a soul that is contaminating the home or the Yagna, please let us pray in this way so that soul could find peace. He will go and we will get to go through with our sanskar, the wedding, the job, the whatsoever, without any interruption, without any blood loss, etc. For those people that went to the forest on journey and they were killed by hunger, starvation, or thirst, and they were now transformed into bhoot, pret, pisach, and now they are feeding off the living entity, because those forms were created when people commit sin. Brahma says, I create things called pret, bhoot, and pisach to feed off the living entity, to cause mishaps, quarreling in a home. How does it work? Let's say I have my puja room and I go and eat meat in there, or I do something sacrilegious. How will punishment come? These type of entities come into a home, and where there wasn't argument, where there was peace, where there was fertility, where there was financial security, now everything goes upside down. It becomes topsy-turvy. The business stops working. Everybody gets sick. Different things start to happen as if the energy or the barakat of the house is gone. These are the workers, the emissaries that cause these things. So, in the same way, we are now asking, dear God, please accept this offering. Dear God, I offer to you, O Gada Dara, please bless them so that they will move off. Prabhu, those people who are burning in hell, Raurav, Andaka Misra, Kal Sutra, in different hell regions of Narak, as it described in Garupuran, based on the sins that they have committed. Dear God, I pray for them, please accept this, but bless them. Those people that spat in the face of women, disrespecting women to the heights, those people that were cruel to animals, and they have now become animals, becoming snakes, becoming reptiles, birds, etc. Dear Lord, I offer this and I pray that may this pinda offering assist them in whichever form you have placed them. Sounds strange, but when a person is born with a gold spoon in their mouth, when a person happens to get so lucky that he gets, something he wants, let's say the lottery or something, and that goodwill is coming, believe it or not, it is moments like this where people are praying for your good. They may not be in your presence, they may not know where you are, but the goodness, the energy, the blessings of the Lord is flowing to that person because of the good that others are doing for you. So me and you, in our world, we get to overcome and we live through COVID, where many people were hospitalized and they don't know how they live. If you were spared COVID, explain to me how you were spared COVID. If you had an easy time, how did you have that easy time? What makes you different? According to Hindu texts, when you have people maybe from past janam still doing pinda dance, still doing shrad, and the blessings or the punyam of that action, the karma, Lord Vishnu takes it and he sends the blessing based on that action. You say, oh my God, bless me today. But devotees declare there are many days we receive blessings, but how many of those blessings did you and I work for? Think about that. And in this way, the pitras, the pret, different forms, gain the blessing. Those who have died in my family, on my father's side, my mother's side, my guru, my father-in-law, all in the neighborhood, dear Lord, in this way, male, female, everything, I have come for the blessings of Gadadhara Mahavishnu. And may that blessing repay the debts that I have to the devatas, to the pitras, to this earth. And when a person makes these types of sacrifice, then wherever, if ever, there is any member of the family undergoing hardship, then such hardship is obliterated, it is lifted, it goes. Prem se bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. Narad Muni, as the chapter goes on, as he was describing different mantras prior, he says, Guruji, this what you're saying is very, very nice, very good. But could you tell me, and here now we'll enter where some people have asked some questions that are relevant. He says, who did this? Who was could you give me an example? In Gita it says when great people do something, ordinary people emulate that example. Who did this? Who was able to do Gara Mahavishnu with this form? Who went to Gaya? And who was able to gain this emancipation? फूलों में सज रही है श्री वृंदावन बिहारी और साथ सज रही है वृषवान के दुलारी
तेरा समुकुट सर पर
लगा किसी अदा से
करुणा
बरस रही है करुणा
बड़ी
निगाह से पांडुशील वैतात्र आस्ति श्राद्धम यात्र भवे यदुष्टे स्तुति तस्य हे श्राद्ध कुरुतु यधु यधु मुनिको युधिष्ठिर पांडवानिकम फूलों में सज रही है. When Pandu in Mahabharata, Pandu had died, great cry, great pain, that this still young, he has young children, Pandu leaves behind a mourning family. And Yudhishthira goes on great Tira and he reaches to that place called Gaya, when it still existed at that time. Shrad is being performed for him as he sits head shaven at the bank of the Mahanadi, the foothills of Prabhas. Yudhishthira went from place to place offering tarpan, offering the pinda. And at one point, Pandu comes and he says, oh, give me the soul, give me the pinda, I am hungry. But Yudhishthira, knowing the history of Gaya, doesn't hand the father, he puts it on the ground. Because it is the ground that has the Gaya, it has the Gada, Dara, it has the Vishnu. And for that reason, by resting it on the ground, he passed the test. And that son of Vyas, Pandu, becomes very pleased and he confers upon him, may you, O son, when the time is right and you ascend to the throne, may you sit on that throne for a very long time. May you have a successful rule. May your name become everlasting. Now, many times, for people who are accustomed doing Pitri worship, Pitri Puja, Pitri Yagna, people who make sure and do the offerings to Lord Vishnu during this time of Pitri Paksha, they will tell you from the time I do for my ancestors, I have my mother and my father, and I pray to Lord Vishnu, simple language, I pray to Lord Vishnu for them to be happy and for them to be good wherever they might be. that in this life I find myself very successful. And in simple language, I want you to understand what is happening to Yudhishthira and what happens to you and I when we do this. Let's say we are doing Tarpan offerings, Tilanjali offering, and we're praying the Lord Vishnu and SKSA. Please remember that this concept of dead people, you're not praying to them, they need help, we are praying for them. Your great-great-grandfather, safe from India. We may not know his name, chances are we do. Wherever he is, imagine that soul saying, out of my whole lineage, out of all the grandchildren, out of everybody, this one boy or girl is still praying, remembering me, their prayer God. If my words have any value, Vishnu, may you shower that grandchild, may you shower that generation, may you give them what they want. And this is an intrinsic part of what we spoke about Pitradosh. When a person owes the ancestors, when they have not done the requisite rites, incomplete rites, and things start to go wrong, people start to die, nobody can have a baby, things are going wrong in the home. And the astrologer says, listen, I think you're suffering from Pitradosh. You have to do shrad. Corrective prayer must be done. What are you doing? Dear God, please accept this offering and allow my ancestors to be the beneficiary of this type of prayer. When they get upliftment, dear God, bless my offspring, bless my grand, let them have what they are praying for. Once they have, they'll be able to do prayer. But if they don't have, if they cannot afford the ghee to offer in the fire, how will they offer havan? If they cannot afford the till, how will they offer tilanjali? Dear God, bless them to have. If our words have value, please bless them to have. And in this way, the blessings of parents enrich the life of the child. This is the science behind it. This is the continuity to get the blessings to move forward in your life. This is why we do it as well. Yudhishthira is given this blessing by Pandu. And he says, when you are finished, when you are ready, because remember, in the ending of the Mahabharata, it is not that Yudhishthira get a heart attack or died via high blood pressure or something like that. If you know the discourse, they went on Tira and they walked up a mountain, long story short. And he, in that frame, entered into the vehicle of Indra willingly. And this is where it came from. He says, when you are ready to go to the heavenly region, when you are fed up of this earth, when you have grown tired of this world, you will leave this world together with your brothers, and I will see you in Swargalok, in the heavenly regions. Because of this shrad, because of your activity today, oh my son, I bless you that you will one day, when you are ready, you will choose and you will enter this world, the heavenly region. Blessed is the person that chooses to do this type of worship in a similar manner, in a similar way, that you will have like this same type of blessing. When people get distracted and confused, when you get confused and you let different things enter your head, that confusion, that doubt breaks your faith. He says that in Gita, he says that if there is a person that is filled with doubt, people with doubt, I wonder if this is real, I wonder if this is working, I wonder if I'm doing the correct thing. Happiness will not come to such a person in this life or in your next life. Because even if you do what you're doing, you're not doing it with faith, you're doing it with doubt. You may be like a robot, you're doing it, but you don't believe in what you do. And we live in an age where we are bombarded by constantly information, and sometimes because we just don't know better, the information could confuse you. Let me give you an example. I was reading and I came across this and I wanted to share this with you because let me answer this one first. An auntie wrote me and she says, when taking out food to offer to the pitras, do I need to offer an individual plate of food per person? I believe you could answer that question. All of you viewing here. Somebody write it for me on Facebook, on YouTube. What's the answer to that? If in COVID we lost 7 individuals in the past year, God forbid, some people had that. If my relatives, for those of you viewing from England and Spain, based on our conversation this morning, if your young ones are in that conflict in Ukraine, and we are losing our family members to war, is it that if I'm doing the shrad, I have to take out a plate of food for this one, a plate of food for that one, a plate of food for the other? Remember, first of all, if the 1 year is running, maybe the Bandara Day, you might call that individual name for that person's funeral rites. But this now, generally speaking, Pitra Paksh is for Pitras. Maybe nobody died this year, for example. This is for everybody. So when a person is doing this, you offer one plate, I'm saying plate because you said plate, but offering article, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I have apples growing on a tree and I want to offer Lord Vishnu apple, you could do that. I don't have to offer apple because I'm not feeding dead, I'm feeding God on behalf of all the past ones. That is why I read those verses on behalf of this one, on behalf of that one, on behalf of the other. But it is not that you're offering separately plates of food. That is when you're offering different pinda. That part, what I was reading. But when it comes to the physical offering by the pushgrass, what we are talking about, Pitra Paksh, one offering for Mahavishnu. One offering when people are doing for the cow, you're going to feed 20 cow, 30 cow, 40 cow, you could, but not for the purpose that you're thinking. If you share more food for people happy, more blessings flowing, good. 200 people in a Yagna, for example. But it is not being done by the pushgrass, 200 plate of food, 300 plate of food. No, the pushgrass represents Mahavishnu, this form here. And you're saying, dear God, I offer this, just like what I was reading just now, on behalf of all those that came from my father's side, my mother's side. May you bless them for giving you this Krishna Arpa. Let me clear. Now, somebody sent a message this morning, I'm reading Mami Baba, but it first. There was a scholar, an Islamic scholar, there was a Hindu pujari. Very calmly, the Islamic scholar is making the point, but it caused some confusion. Confusion in the true sense of it, because Baba, I never hear this. And I want to address it because sometimes people speak and they have not read our books. So very gently I'm explaining this tonight. For that, I've been to India and I've seen in Bengal people make pinda with fish. I have been to different parts, I've seen people do, or I've heard people making animal sacrifice, blood sacrifice. First of all, there are different sects in Hinduism. Just the other day, in the group we were talking about the Agoric sect of Hindus. We do not conform. Most people viewing here tonight, let us agree, we do not conform to those beliefs. They would spray alcohol, eat cannibalism, they eat the prasad from the cremation ground. They believe that you offer the body to Lord Shiva, and as it is an offering to him, it is considered fit to eat. It is prasad. It is offered, it's at different height. It might seem macabre, it might seem gross to do that. But their logic is, everything is his. Everything belongs to him. And for that reason, there is nothing wrong in their eyes. Totally different. And that exists till today. And I'm not saying it that we are going to become that. Those people, from a karmic perspective, and I want you to understand it, because where I'm going, from a karmic perspective, that is their view, that is their understanding. Just like a tourist, sometimes we travel and we go somewhere, whether it's Great Race in Tobago, or you go to see a parade in Disney World, You may not be able to jump, flip, and spin like that, but you would go to a circus and see the person walking on a trapeze line and be in awe and amazement to see the ability of another individual. Think about it this way. In Gita, it talks about austerity. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Sattvic austerity is an example of us fasting without salt. You're giving up something for your body, nutrition. Tamasic type of austerity where you're causing physical harm to your body. If you look at some James Bond movie, you will see where he's in India and the munis are lying on a bed of nails. And the logic is, if my devotion is pure, if my belief, if my focus is pure, I'm not going to get damaged. There are church pastors in America where they serpent pastors, they call them. They believe that you can have snakes around your body and their hands holding them, and these venomous snakes will not bite you. If your prayer, if your faith is strong, they will not bite you. Even in Trinidad, there are Shakti temples that do the fire pass and you walk on that fire, and if your prayer, if your vrat, if your fasting, if your shraddha, your faith in that mother is genuine, you will not get burned. Austerity. I know me, I can say this with all honesty. I know I am not going to be able, as they say, to accept a rope or walk on fire or lie down on nail. I don't know if I'm that good. But I find it very interesting to watch, because the person who is doing it has that faith that maybe I, maybe you, I don't know, have yet to realize. You might say to me, Baba, that is madness, Baba, that is... It's different. Different people pray in different ways, but they pray. And if that is prayer to them, that is their way. Gita says, we have to read Gita before them, right? Whatever a man or woman may sacrifice to devatas or son of Kunti, in reality he's really sending it to me, but it is offered without understanding that I am the true. I am the true form in all worship. Chapter 9, verse 23. I am the enjoyer and the objective in all sacrifice, whichever way, whichever form, whatever sattvic, rajasic, tamasic type of offering they are making. Maybe they don't recognize it, verse 24. Maybe the person doing the prayers don't realize it's me, O Arjuna, my true transcendental nature. Maybe they can't see it. And this is why he says, those people that worship the devatas, they go to the devatas when this life leaves the body. Those people that worship, that go to the cemetery and they're burying things in the mounds of where the corpses are, they go to the land of the spirit. Those people that worship the ancestors, go there. Those people that worship me, come to me. So Baba is saying tonight, we are not praying to the dead. This is why as Hindus, we cautious here, you see people say, my father blessed me and I get a car. But daddy died, right? And my father blessed me and I get through the job. God will bless you. Verse 26, if a person offer me with love and devotion, that's it here, love and devotion, leaf, flowers, water, I will accept it. O son, all you do, all you eat, all you offer, whatever you give away, don't you say Krsna, as well as all the austerities, remember that word, that you may perform, it should be done as an offering to who? To me. To me. So the act of offering Tarpa, the Tilanjali, it is offered to him, Garadhara, not to the ancestors. Vrindavan Vihar Ki Jai. So the question comes, did it or is it done that people offer meat in these types of prayer? Is it written anywhere? And the Islamic scholar of Islamic studies. He's quoted, and it is there. And I want to confirm tonight. I'm not hiding, I'm not pretending it's not there, it is there. But let me put it in the context. There are, as time is passing, one text, different text came as the different forms came. And times change because man's lifespan, the environment started to change, the land mass started to change. So in doing so, prayers change. First of all, in the very early, let us hear what the scholar was referring to first. In those times, remote villages would offer fruits, bulbs, roots, and this would bring about satisfaction for the forefathers. In different areas, fish, different type of meat, different type of game, wild fowls, birds would bring satisfaction. Tortoise, the meat of pork, mutton, buffalo, rhinoceros horn, these things would bring satisfaction. But as the coming of Kali, sweetened porridge or rice pudding, butter, milk of the cow milk, offering of clarified butter into the fire, these also gave the satisfaction of the pitras when these offerings are made to Vishnu. Principle of Shri Vishnu Bhagavan at least said, Pandit ways saying boy, I'm saying the truth. I'm reading from Agni Puran, chapter 18, verse 45 to 49. First of all, to be quite honest, it is there. It is also there in Devi Bhagavad. And in Mahendradara, in old India, in the Indus Valley, when the type of, you have to remember that some vegetables did not exist. Cauliflower, broccoli, these things are hybrids, these things did not exist. So, in times of hardship, people would offer what they had, first of all. But as time passed, the rules for the prayers changed. Case in point, when last did you go and pray in the forest for 10,000 years? As the prayer changed with the coming of Kali, Sattvic offering is the type of offering where there is no negative association with the offering. There is no pain, there is no hurt being done with the offering. Because it is known in parts of Jaipur till today, people hold to the tradition of offering animals. But that type of tamasic offering, because the animal undergoes pain, suffering, and you are gifting the energy, the life energy of the animal. That's why it is done. In today's world, we offer sattvic offering. People strive as Sanatanis, we strive for sattvic type of prayer. It doesn't mean tamasic doesn't exist. I want to clarify that. I am acknowledging the presence of tamasic, please understand. But as Sanatanis, we strive to do sattvic type of prayer, or prayer that does not cause the entanglement of karma. What is the purpose of tamasic prayer? Tamasic or tantric prayer is done most of the time for the getting of material gain, property, winning court matter, etc., gaining love, gaining favor, so on, control of spirit, to do illicit works, etc. With those type of thoughts, those things are done. When you're doing sattvic prayer, pure prayer, the Hindu has now elevated their thoughts. Yes, we need blessing in this life, but I don't want to incur sin. So you know what? I'm going to offer the coconut, for example. The coconut is where you're offering the life energy of a seed, the same Shakti that is contained, the Jiv that is contained in a goat or in a sheep or in any other animal, equally stands present in the coconut. So when you see in those movies or in your temple, they are cracking the coconut. They're saying, dear God, I offer the energy of the coconut, Krsna, please accept it. This is why when you go to your Devi Mandir or the Shakti Mandir, the Shakta sect, practice for those that are offering sattvic offering, not sacrifice, sattvic offering. They're saying take the same energy, but take it from the coconut, and that is where the coconut, once the 3 eyes are covered, it would still grow. Ma, please accept it. Don't you, with your Baba at home, offer the coconut to the fire. At that minimum, Krishna had one Swahamara, please accept it when we have Durga Puja. This is why we do that. But in those times, this type of himsa type offering, violent offering, these things did happen. It is there. But then Lord Vishnu incarnated in the Buddha form. And when Adi Vishnu came in that form, it is there the concept of ahimsa, that which caused the Buddha to the Buddhist faith, similar to Hindu faith, ahimsa. It is from the invent of that Buddha, that incarnation of Lord Vishnu, that ahimsa became a tenet of Hinduism. And it is roughly since then that the animal sacrifice was not the only way to offer to God. But he does say, whatever you offer, I will accept it. So people do it. I want you to understand that. But the problem comes, how much blessing are you going to get? When you cause the mother of this animal, the mother in that home, to leave the child undone, maybe they won't get the milk that they need to grow, and you're causing harm there, you're causing losses, tears to fall, you will have to account for that. It even says in, I believe, I don't remember it now, that when one animal is killed, 6 people get sick. The one who literally kills the animal, the one who consumes the animal, the one who pays to get the animal killed, etc. So there's a certain amount of accountability in that instance, but compared to a plant, where there's no conscious thought, there's life, there's energy, but there's no conscious thought to say pain, loss, etc., attachment. None of these things exist in a coconut. Prem Sola Vrindavan Biharilala Ki Jai. When these type of offerings are done, together with the Vedic mantra, the Pitras are the ones that benefit from the type of offering. So, depending on the lineage that you come from, in today's world, there are people that still hold to these practices. In terms of what goes on in India, I heard one person ranting about what happens in India. Not everything that happens in India is accurate, first of all. India is going through a crisis where young people are walking away from their dharma, where young people are losing the aesthetic value of their faith. So in some regions, yes, people do all sorts of craziness. They don't go pick up the bone, they pay somebody to do that, they want to do incomplete rites. That doesn't mean, because that is what is going on there, we lose our dharma, our faith. In fact, one of the things that is admired or admirable about the West Indian culture is that we were able to hold fast and hold on to what we know as our dharma. And even if there is a renaissance in India where people are, yes, there is young people that hold on to their faith and their practices, but there are some that don't want to do it because there's a lot of conversion going on in India still. An easiest example to understand what is happening in India as they are bombarded from colonialism and other, avenues. There are missionaries that go in, and people talk about a lot about, oh, they're doing good. But remember, I want to teach your children, I want to feed your hungry children, I want to give them medicine. But the only way you're going to access these things, you have to convert first. If you're a mother and your child is hungry, you want your child to learn to read so that they can come out of poverty, you want medicine for your child, what would you do? For many people, this is not about fighting about what I believe, this is to survive. So many people convert. And under those circumstances, that's why today the government of India is barring different missionary organizations from coming into India because of the harm it is causing. Those type of conversionism does not happen in the islands of the West Indies as much, or in North America or South America or Europe. People are treated with respect. So when you look now at yourself or your environment and you say, what's going on in India? Why people are like this? You have to understand the circumstance that these people are they're fighting to survive in their dharma, they're fighting to survive in their beliefs. Because you're under attack, you're under scrutiny. To put that into perspective, I remember my mother one day was talking about in her school days, what it was like, and she was telling me about how they would, go and climb trees and eat their dongs and different things. And she says, in those days, when your mother make roti and moku, fried plantain, fried fig, is to hide your moku and shame and eat the oily, from the roti and the bag, it's together with oil. And it wasn't considered food, it wasn't something prestigious. This is your dish. This is what, belongs to you. This is your identity. Coming from an East Indian background. But we were taught to shame and to hide that is not equivalent to other people's food. And in Trinidad, at least, that was a main thing. But look what happens. Roti, for example, has survived. Now, roti is a staple for everybody. What we call doubles, chole and bhatura. In India, they call it that, chole and bhatura. Doubles in Trinidad. Now everybody wants that. Now people line up to pay $9 for a quarter of a roti. A quarter of a, if you could imagine that, a quarter of a roti, $9. And now it's in demand. In my mother's time, she always said, I can't believe people paying for Sarah roti side the road now. Because now it's something to have, now it's something you want. Dal puri, everything, everybody wants it. And in the same way, our people have been bashed, our people have been attacked, our people have been dragged. And the only reason I'm reading this, we have to know the truth. You have to know the truth, and you have to know why you follow a certain rhetoric, why you make a certain type of austerity, why do you associate certain things with your prayer. And although I hear others are doing it, that doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Because I want to follow sattvic prayer, I don't want to go tamasic prayer. But when you lock away yourself from the truth, when people say these things, if you have a doubt, I wonder if the man saying, well, he quoted our books, I wonder if that's really so. Did my Pandit didn't teach me about that? But tonight, please understand the context that I'm reading this from, so that yes, we acknowledge it's there, just as how it has the fire pass. Does that mean you're going to walk in the fire? Could you do that? There are people who, and you see the mutualism, it's in all religions. Christianity has it, Islam has it in different sect of Islam. When they have, just as how we have Jose in Trinidad, there are different procession where they take a razor blade and they cut their forehead. Mutilation in different ways. We all have it. It doesn't mean that all will do it. And I want you to understand that. That we, because of your understanding, when you say you're a Sanatanist, you have reached to a point in your growth, in your understanding of God, that I have come to the wanting of sattvic worship, sattvic offerings. And what did he say in chapter 9? What you're doing, offer it to me. I am the enjoyer of all the praise. Just as we're talking about Dara, and just as we're talking about Krishna Bhagavan and Gita, everything that you offer, know who you're offering it to. Know who is the person really standing there receiving everything that you're doing. Those souls that were once belonged to your family, they are in need of help. Maybe they are born somewhere else. But every day in your life, you could be the recipient of prayers coming from somebody elsewhere. In your life, when death is supposed to happen, when the accident was imminent, when bad was supposed to come to you, and in that moment you see a miracle happen. How did that miracle come? If everything is karma, if everything that is happening to you is based on something from before, or something that was done before. Understand that maybe there's somebody elsewhere still offering prayer to a previous name, a previous form of yours and mine that is still enriching our life till today. Why do some people have luck, blessings, goodness? They never cry a day. How do some people have that? Whereas some people have depression, sadness, hurt, pain, starvation, drunk, die, COVID, name it. I was talking to a doctor today, and the doctor is saying that he's so worried that he's seeing cancer in children in an alarming rate. We are becoming so advanced that we have microwave, air fryer, and all these things are just killing us more and more. The bottled water stay in the car, the plastic leach into the water, you drink it, it causes cancer. The cell phone, the earbuds, every piece of equipment that is giving off that electronic field, that magnetic field, is damaging the brain, damaging the body. We are surrounded by these things. And when we listen to Kalki Puran, and we'll do that another day, and we talk about the times, it makes you wonder if this is the destruction, the dance of Lord Shiva that we are hearing about, where flooding, earthquake, landslip, sickness, pestilence is rampant, food shortage is throughout this world, wars. Now Russia is invading Antarctica. What will happen next day? The ice is melting throughout the world. Do you remember going to the beach in Manzalina or in Maruga and Vesini and all these places, and there was this big long shore where the shore gone? As the water is approaching, I don't know if in the times of our grandchildren, if there will be something called Ikakas. The world as we know it is changing. And if we are not cautious, we would not be happy or safe for long. Tonight, as I conclude, before we go, come on. Please remember some of what we spoke about tonight. I hope I've answered some of the questions. I'm sure there are more. And you could still reach out to me. Feel free to send me messages. Tonight, as we've come to the end of our Avayitam Pusham Mahatram, Sura Surya Rachitam Padma Padmam Indo Visutram, Surya Lokaratam Arindota Avayitam Samathyam. Please feel free to reach out and to still send a question. Pitra Paksh is running to the 25th. 26th morning is going to be your first session of Navara. So on the Sunday, even home here in the Ashram, if you would like to come and join with us, we're having Pitra Puja, and Tarpan, each person will have their own pushras, and depending on who has passed away in your family, with guidance, with mantras, we'll be doing it together. If you're interested, please reach out to me on WhatsApp. Please send me a message on Facebook, and I'll guide you accordingly how to get here, what you have to get, etc. Let's join together as we do simple prayer. Sarvapam haram divyam gangeyam nirmalam jalam achmannam mayaritam Vahina Parmeshwaram. We join together with Swaha as we do the first set of mantras. Om Prajapatyay Namah Swaha. Om Indraya Namah Swaha. Om Agnaye Namah Swaha. Om Somaya Namah Swaha. Om Bhu Swaha. Om Bhuva Swaha. Om Swat Swaha. Om Gadadharaya Namah Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Yamaya Namah Swaha. Om Dharamrajaya Namah Swaha. Om Rityave Swaha. Om Somrajaya Namah Swaha. Om Havyavad Namah Swaha. Om Kavyavad Namah Swaha. Om Kulaya Namah Swaha. Om Kalaya Namah Swaha. Om Rudraya Namah Swaha. Om Purushaya Namah Swaha. Om Brahmane Namah Swaha. Om Vishnave Namah Swaha. Om Tat Purushaya Namah Swaha. Now we go over to the Swadha aspect. Om Yamaya Swadha. Om Dharamrajaya Swadha. Om Mrityave Swadha, Om Agnishvataha Pitaraya Swadha, Om Brahishwaraya Pitaraya Swadha, Om Somapa Pitaraya Swadha, Om Ajapa Pitaraya Swadha, Om Dharmrajaya Swadha, Om Mrityave Namah Swadha, Om Andakaya Swadha, Om Vaivishwataya Swadha, Om Kalaya Swadha, Om Sarvabhutakshaya Namah Swadha, Om Dumbaraya Namah Swadha, Om Shri Dadanyanaya Namah Swadha, Om Parameshtinaya Swadha, Om Vridhakodaraya Swadha, Om Om Chitraya Swadha, Om Chitraguptaya Namah Swadha, Om Aryama Pitaraya Shanti Swadha. Now we're going back to Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Bhura Bhuva Swa Tatsaviturvarenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha. Now say a prayer. Mahavishnu, by listening to your discourse tonight, listening to your form, the history of how you got that mace, that mukta, dear God, we thank you for that. By listening to your discourse, by listening to the Gita, by listening to Agni Puran, Prabhu, may you please allow the understanding to come to each and every person. May they have the memory to remember these type of discourses. Let it guide their devotion and their prayer, dear God, allowing them to climb step to step closer to you. May all their ancestors be able to be the beneficiary of this type of offering and prayer. Prabhu, may you reward them and bless them time and time again by virtue of all that they have offered and their pushkras, the food, the offerings, listening to prayer. May you enrich the ancestry of each person's beauty. Hari Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudakshate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purmadeva Vashishyate Om Purnativam Shanti Swaha. Prem se bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. I'm about to light. Hari Om Sarva Papam Haram Devyam Gangayam Nirmalam Jalam Achmannam Mayadittam Grahina Parmeshwaram Vanaspati Risabhuto Gandhado Gandhyuktamam Agre Sarva Devanam Dupoyam Pratigvehatam. Let's bow 3 times to the light, everybody. Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Gadadvaja Mangalam Pundarikaksham Mangalayatano Hari. Prem se bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. Tonight as I come through, I hope you all have enjoyed your discourses and you have learned a little bit about Gaya. When you come to the Seri mantra and you hear him called Gaya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, etc., please understand and remember that rule. If you have the ability to volunteer at one day and you can see these places in India, I bless you and pray that you are afforded the opportunity to do it. It brings about a great amount of blessing. Please be viewing as we will continue with series like this to educate and to edify the public on more and more about our Sanatana Dharma. Further, I encourage all of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, to my Facebook, add me on TikTok, so that you will become more and more a partner to the ashram and to knowledge like this, that you'll be aware when videos are uploaded, satsang is being done, messages are being sent, and please feel free to always send me questions. I will endeavor my very best to find the answers. I mean, I'm sure I may not know the answer. I have to go and look for it, honesty, and get back to you. But I will get back to you because I love my job, I love my dharma, I love my Hindu, and I love to see people improve. As a teacher, to see the students that I guide, the families that I guide, to see them do better, have better. I love to hear. I did the prayer, vibes, I did the job, I did the tapasya, and you know what? It worked. I saw change, I saw betterment. I feel good. Honestly, I feel good when I hear stories like that. It's not always the case. Sometimes things go wrong. But 10 out of 10, if you do prayers properly, miracles will happen. By virtue of God's word, by virtue of all the discourses that illustrate the lessons that you and I have to put to practice. And I encourage you again and again to get involved. If you have any other question, I'll post the WhatsApp group tonight on Facebook. Feel free to add and get into contact with me through WhatsApp so that we can do more to help alleviate problems that are plaguing you. When you are not comfortable and we go to God with the right prayers, the right procedure, and we do it correctly, then you're going to get correct answer. What's the mistake we make sometimes? Imagine you went to the doctor and you have an ankle pain, but the doctor gave you shoulder medicine. Shoulder medicine. How is your ankle going to feel better? But I went to the doctor, you know. But what you're practicing is not suiting the problem. Likewise, sometimes we're praying, but is there a better mantra? Is there a better way, mudra, maybe a better mala, maybe a better procedure? Yes. And with the right knowledge, as Krishna says in Gita, the knowledge will act as a raft to take you across this samsara, this birth and death, this life of separation, this life of pain and punishment. Knowledge is the only answer. Tonight, as we conclude our Vishnu Gyan Yagna, I hope you have learned something, and I pray that God bless you and bless your ancestors. Until we get to do satsang like this again, everybody, from my family to yours, have a happy Pitra Paksha, and God's blessing, and may you all be safe for this weather that's so turbulent. Please be safe. Let's join our hands and do our own mantra now. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarva Mama Deva Deva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Prem Sagrama Pati Mahadeva Ki Jai Pawan Putra Hanuman Ki Jai Shri Al Shakti Mata Ki Jai Garadhara Shri Jai Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai 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 Sitaram. Sitaram everybody. Sabgol Sitaram. May God bless each and every one of you, and I wish you a happy and safe Pitra. Keep good until we see each other next time. I look forward to your messages, and please remember, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, and I'll talk to you soon. Sitaram everybody. Bye bye.